Good morning, funnel hackers. Today is day 2 of Funnel Hacking Live. I am so excited for today, beyond excited for today. And I will get into the reasons why I am so excited about today in just a moment. I have some housekeeping things I have to get done. Um, but just bear with me for a second because I've served you guys well, I think. So yesterday we were able to connect with one of our favorite funnel hackers, Turner Leslie, who is at Funnel Hacking Live right now with the ClickFunnels crew. And he gave us a behind the scenes tour of the VIP sign up area. So we got to feel like we were VIPs with priority access. That means we have those lovely blue wristbands. That means we won our dream cars. That means we are speaking on that stage. We're 2 comma club or more winners. That was the experience we got yesterday, which was absolutely incredible. So I'm going to send out those links again so we can get those people back on with us. We also have an amazing story I want to tell you guys about how Funnel Hacking Live is really an opportunity to meet people that are going to change the game for your business. It's absolutely incredible. So I am excited for that one. I just don't know where my Voxer went. Do you guys like Voxer? I'm obsessed with Voxer. Today's show. Cool. All right. So let's talk. We got lots going on today. Lots going on today. Day 2 of Funnel Hacking Live is, I think, one of my favorite days in terms of the amount of content that you're learning, the amount of stuff that we're actually getting to talk about. When it comes to implementation, today, in my opinion, is the big day. Yesterday was all about foundations and mindset and making sure we are all on the right page. But today is about actually building out different types of funnels, which is, of course, super exciting. Super exciting. So I'm going to give you guys a couple more minutes to jump in here before I start telling you about how you can get my notes. Because I promised you guys I took really good notes. I should show you guys. I took notes. I took so many notes that my hand cramped up and I had to like ice it for a little bit. So these are my notes on my lovely tablet here. La 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 la. So I took really good notes during the evening session. I took really good notes during the morning, and I took really good notes. Where are my notes? There they are. I took really good notes. Lots of notes. All the notes. Still writing the notes. So many notes. It's still going, right? So I have so many notes that I wrote up from yesterday's sessions, from the very first session, where I even have notes on the master class of emceeing that is Devon Brown. That was all covered in my notes, and you guys can have access to them absolutely free. I'll tell you about that later on in today's show. If you are interested, definitely drop down #notes in the chat, and I will come back to you and message you one-on-one and get you those notes because they are full of value. And I went to, so yesterday we had the change in format that we talked about. Instead of having our regular roundtable discussions, what we ended up doing was we had access to workshops. So I guess because of COVID protocols and stuff, they wanted to make sure the speakers had a lot more distance and a lot more social distance and space between them and the crowd. So they had their own breakout rooms where everyone got to sit down and eat their dinner, and our speakers got to take over the stage. So that was a cool experience as well. We talked yesterday about the 4 different options for workshops, and hopefully we've had some of our pre-show team head over to the different workshops. So today we can bring you guys on the call and we can talk about all of those. I was in Myron Golden's amazing presentation about sales. I definitely learned some things. I definitely was reinforced with some cool ideas that I had been humming and hawing about before, and it's kind of like he gave us permission to go with them. So I'm super excited to share that with you guys as well. Oh, there's just so much that happened yesterday. So let's first do a quick overview of what's going to happen today at Funnel Hacking Live so we can mentally prepare ourselves. And then we'll go back and we'll talk about some of the things, some of my big takeaways from day one. So let's talk about what happened yesterday. We started out with, I need my notes. Let's be honest. We started out with Russell and Todd talking, or actually, no, let's start. We have, I'm not going into all of my notes because we can do that later on. But definitely there will be a masterclass looking at Devon Brown and how he MCs. It is beautiful. I come from the world of facilitation. How do we get people to talk? How do we get people to brainstorm ideas? How do we get teams to work together, whether they're in person or they're virtual or they're stratified? It doesn't matter. It's all about being able to facilitate that process. And Devon is a genius when it comes to this. He plays the book so well. And so I definitely took a ton of notes on his emceeing. So if you thought Devon was a fantastic MC, if you think he is a fantastic MC, definitely let me know down in the chat. So last year at Funnel Hacking Live, I got the privilege to meet and chat with Devon. It was when we had the breakout sessions. There was the roundtables in one room, and then there was a funnel hackathon in the other room. And I was in the funnel hackathon, and I'm looking around. It was a pretty chill room compared to the roundtables. I'm looking around, and there's this handsome man running across the room, and he pauses for a moment, looks around the room, and I took my opportunity and I went up and I said, "Hey, Devon, you're amazing. Thank you so much for doing what you do. You are really setting the tone for an awesome conference." And he stopped and he looked at me and he said, "I really have to run. We're in the middle of something. I would love to stay and chat, but thank you so much for that feedback. That really made my night." And I get goosebumps thinking about it because he is just such an incredible guy. So not only is he a great guy, he's a fantastic MC as well. So that's pretty awesome. So let me know if you guys are tuning in again. Maybe this is your first episode of the pre-show. Maybe this is your second, or if you're an OG, this is your third episode of the pre-show. Okay, so we had Devon doing his greatest version of the MC, bringing us up to the energy level required. He also made a really great job at setting the tone. Hey, James, welcome back today. He did a really great job of setting the tone. And in the world of visibility hacking, where I come from, we talk about setting language. And Devon did a great job of this. The language isn't necessarily the words we use, but it's the way we go about doing things. What are things that are culturally accepted within this community right now? And so what Devon did was he laid that foundation by showing us how we bring people to the stage, how excited we get when they call out those speakers' names, what it means to play all in. All of those foundations were laid within the first moments of the conference. And that, I think, is something we so often forget to do. Whether you're speaking on stages with thousands of people, whether you're speaking to a virtual community, whether you're speaking in person, whether you're speaking at a round table, it's so important to make sure that you are setting that tone and that language and those foundations. I love it. I love it. I love it. So make sure, my friends, that if you are enjoying the pre-show, you definitely want to tag in your friends. I know I met so many incredible funnel hackers yesterday, but we were chatting in the Myron Golden room about the pre-show. It totally made my evening to see you guys and to hear from you guys in the Myron Golden room talking about how much you enjoyed the pre-show. It just absolutely lit me up. So I'm so excited about that. So we saw Devon. Now we'll move on to the big topics for the day. So yesterday we had Russell Brunson coming up and talking about the science of achievement. And he talked about this transformation that he's been going through. He talks about the metaphor and the analogy of Atlas carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders, as we as entrepreneurs constantly are feeling. The pressure is on. But eventually Atlas shrugs that weight and he moves on, and he realizes that he is the prime mover. And Russell asks that of us, to look inside of us and realize that we are the prime movers. We have the ability to make the decisions that will move things forward, that will be the change we want to see. Oh, I am just beyond pumped to hear about that. We also got some really hard news within the ClickFunnels community that literally brought me to tears. We heard some really hard news about Dave Woodward and his health concerns right now. So if you are people who pray, or you are people who send energy out into the world, keep Dave Woodward and his family in your thoughts. They need you right now. It's just, yeah. We need him. We need our Dave Woodward. So Dave, if you ever watch this, we're loving you. We're sending you good vibes, and we cannot wait till you can tell this as a story that happened to you in the past, so we can all celebrate that accomplishment. I'm like, it literally brought me to tears. It did. So we also, in Russell's session, Dave wouldn't want us to harp on any of this, but we had to mention it. Russell then dived into a thing that he actually got from Myron Golden, talking about the 4 levels of value, where we talk about how at the beginning of your business stage, you're in the implementation mode. You're using all of your muscles. It's a lot of legwork. And then when you move up, you start to be into the unification phase, where you start to use your management skills. And then you move up to the communication phase, where your power is coming from your mouth and your ability to connect with people and share your message. And then our 4th level is that of imagination, where mind and money kind of meld together, and you're able to start generating ideas that are going to start generating massive amounts of revenue. And that's pretty big. That's pretty big, I gotta say. We were introduced again to one of the classics, Napoleon Hill, and Russell is in this world of being close to a billionaire right now. So of course he needs to rub it into our face a little bit about how he just purchased the last remaining first edition set, I guess, of Napoleon Hill's Think and Get Rich. I was just about to call it a box set. Did they have box sets back in the day? I don't know. But I thought that was kind of cool for Russell. It's not something that most of us are able to accomplish at this point, but good for you, Russell. What did you guys think of that little, I don't even know. Just kind of threw that out there. And then he starts talking about the definiteness of purpose, and pretty much that is something that we are going to dive into later on. Those of you who go through and get my notes, I'm going to dive into this session a little bit deeper. He talks about the characteristics of someone who is a non-drifter. The first thing is definiteness of purpose. So you know exactly what your purpose is. You know it. It fuels you. It pushes you forward. Second is mastery over self. Third is learning from adversity, using those challenges to teach you a lesson of how you can overcome, how you can get better. We also talk about controlling environmental influence, positive thoughts about time, and we talk about thinking through plans before you actually before you actually act. So now I've gotten to the point where I'm just reading my notes. So let's skip down because the next session blew my mind. So those of you who are not attending FHL still had the ability to watch that first session and to watch this next thing we're going to talk about, which is blowing up the community in so many ways. I'm so excited. So Todd, of the Russell and Todd team, if I had to pick like which dodgeball team I'd want to be on, I want to be on Todd's team. There is something about probably because he's a programmer. People who are programmers have very analytical minds. There is a very simple way to follow a process, right? And that's the way that I think. People like Russell are creative thinkers and they think all over the place. And sometimes I think like that too, but not all the time. That's for sure. So I want to be on Todd's dodgeball team because I feel like he would have the best laid out plans. Russell might have the best way to communicate that plan, but I think Todd would ultimately have the best plan. Sidebar. Here we go. Let's dive into the big news. Drum roll, please. If you were there and you saw this big announcement, drop it down in the chat. What is happening with ClickFunnels? ClickFunnels 2.0 is happening. They're not just fixing little things here and there. They're overhauling the way that we build funnels. They are overhauling it entirely. And I am here for this. I am here for this. If you guys are nervous about it, let me know in the chat. If you guys are excited about it, let me know in the chat. It's a huge thing, and I am so excited. We're going to start seeing this rolling out later today. So on tomorrow's pre-show, that's what we're going to talk about, amongst other things, of course. But I have two pieces of insider information. One is that they're going to rely heavily on frameworks. And the second thing is that your products will not necessarily be tied to your funnels, which think of this. Instead of having to put a new menu on every single page, like a navigation menu that you have to code on each separate page with the links and stuff like that, I think there's going to be menus that are droppable for the whole site or for your whole funnel process. I'm hoping. I'm hoping. And let me know, guys, down in the chat, what kinds of features in ClickFunnels 2.0 would you like to see? If Russell called us up or he popped onto the pre-show and he's like, hey, how you doing? I want you guys to be my mastermind to figure out what we're going to do for 2.0. Let me know. Drop them down in the chat. I'll screenshot them. I'll send them over to him on Voxer. We'll make this happen. I love it. Also, guys, thank you so much for being with me this early in the morning. I know I promised you guys yesterday that I was going to head over to the gym. I was going to bring you guys with me, but truth be told, so I have this medical condition where sometimes I wake up in the morning and my legs don't want to work. And it's really awkward when you promised people you were going to go to the gym and you kind of are crawling along the kitchen to get your tea. So that's my situation today. But I definitely have my weights here. So I'm going to be doing some upper body workout while we are listening to some of our awesome speakers. So I promise you, I'm still getting my fitness on. Did you guys get your fitness on today or after the sessions yesterday? Because it's so important to keep our bodies moving, to keep them, to keep our energy at the level that we need for this event, because it's a long event. Oh, good morning, Patricia. Patty. I haven't seen you in a while. All right, my friends. So we're going to make sure that we get our workout in today. We're going to make sure that we stay hydrated today. Definitely make sure that you are filling your desk with snacks. I got kiwis. I got some other fruits around to make sure that I'm eating right. Yesterday, I was so into these sessions that I I turned my lunch into dinner. So I definitely wasn't eating as best as I could have, but today I've planned to be better. So that's that. So we heard about the new ClickFunnels 2.0 that's coming out. And then Russell gave us the first big teachable action point based training. And that was we called it Advanced Funnel Audibles. And he ran through everything you need to know about when you're building funnels. So you build your funnel, you launch it out into the world. Maybe it isn't perfect. Maybe it doesn't work right. Well, instead of scrapping it and saying this doesn't work, he gives us the checklist of what you need to do to be like a brain surgeon, to go in there, fix the little things that need fixing, relaunch it, and get it back out into the world. And that is, I think, so valuable. As someone who has been building funnels for a few years, I look back at the original funnels that I put out there that I didn't do an audible process on. I just put them out there and hoped that they would work. Also, I have funnels that I put out there didn't work and never drove traffic to them and wondered why they didn't work. Yeah, don't be that person. Don't do that. And that's also something that comes up later on yesterday when we did our evening session where Russell was talking about virtual real estate. I got feelings about that session, but we'll get to those in a minute. So the big takeaway I highlighted and circled from Russell's advanced audible session is keep on moving and don't give up. That means create that funnel, put it out there into the world, and then tweak it. Keep fixing it. Keep looking at what's working and what's not working. Have that analytical approach to building your funnels. It's not just about building things that look pretty. It's not just building things that have cool products or have great copy, but it's also about, well, it is primarily about conversions. And conversions aren't going to happen instantly. Like if you're like me, like 5 years ago, and you have this idea that you're going to wake up one morning and just suddenly be a millionaire, it doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. You need to keep moving, keep adjusting, keep tweaking, and it's going to feel hard. I'm in that process right now, and I had to check myself last night because I'm working on this funnel that is just, or this funnel process that is just really big, and it can kind of feel overwhelming. But then I realize that it's step by step by step. Start with your opt-in. Figure out if there's a wall. Figure out what is that block. Test different things. As Russell asks us to do, test radically different page designs. Test radically different hooks. Test radically different headlines. Test radically different products. Test radically different offer stacks. And then you will find what works in the market. It's not about creating all of these random funnels, although he kind of asks us to do that in the evening session, but we'll get to that. It's about creating something, putting it out into the world, just like you would a child. You don't just put your child out into the world, they mess up and you go, oh, well, you're useless. I'm moving on to the next one. No, you guide that child. You look at ways to mentor and push them to that next level. And so in a funnel, what does that look like? It means testing your headline. It means testing your offer. It means looking at your offer stack. It means, do you have the right bonuses and tools that are really set to overcome the objections of your potential customers? Do you have the right flow? Is there a spot in your funnel process that blocks your people from moving forward? And is it simply just a link that isn't working, for example? There are so many different reasons why your funnel will fail. But Russell literally gave us a roadmap yesterday that we need to. I'm going to turn this into a checklist for y'all, and we can literally look at everyone's funnels and go, all right, let's go through the checklist. Do we have all of these things? Have we tested these? Have we looked at these? So the secrets that he went over in this session, I'm just going to go high level, talk about each of the secrets. So secret number 1 is understanding your marketing math. This is where we're talking about your cost per acquisitions, your average cart values, making sure that you are balanced in the right way, and then knowing when you are ready to scale, making sure that our KPIs are dialed in correctly before you start throwing money at it. Because if you have a funnel that has a very simple block in it, where it's one little link that isn't working, for example, and that's what's stopping people from moving forward and giving you all of their money. Well, if you fix that one little, or if you don't fix that little link and you start throwing money at this and you start putting money behind ads and you're driving tons of traffic to it and people come on in, but then they can't move forward past your landing page because you haven't integrated your list correctly, for example, well, that is going to waste your money. No matter how great the back end of your funnel is, if people can't get through that front door, it was a waste of your time and unfortunately a waste of your money. So making sure that we know what our marketing math is so that we know when we're ready to take that next level. Secret number 2. Oh, good morning, James Havis. Yeah, my team is here. Yeah. Secret number 2, find the control. So this comes from the world of science. When you're doing science experiments, you always want to have a control, a piece that isn't moving. You make all of your modifications and you compare them back to your control. So Russell asks us to look out into the world of funnels when we find our inspiration, like say we go through Russell's funnel hacking process, where we start with that process, the content that we're looking at, and we go, all right, I've looked at all of the supplement funnels that are out there in the world, and these are the ones that are performing the best. Look at what is similar between all of those funnels, all of those top performing funnels. What do they have in common? That then you sketch into a control. That then becomes the baseline from which everything you do is based on. And that is super cool. That is where you're going to start your split tests. It's great. And we were reminded very politely by a little video insert from Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk himself to do your damn homework. I love that. Because so often people are launching funnels into the world and they're launching them because they want to have that product. They want to sell that. They want to be known for being the X, Y, and Z person. Rather than looking at your market and saying, hey, market, what do you want that I can make for you? And that comes up later on in my notes as well. So we'll get to that in a bit. But long story short, do your homework. Look at what's working out there. Create your control from that. Secret number 3 is increase your average cart value. So looking at how you can actually increase the value that you're getting, or actually the money that you're going to be getting from your customers as they go through your funnel. Now, there's 2 different KPIs we need to talk about here. There is ACV, or average cart value, which is, a normal term in the world of marketing and KPIs. But in funnel hacking, we talk about potential average cart value as well. So I like to put that as PACV, potential average cart value. So if you look at your funnel, for example, just let's talk standard funnel. Let's not talk about what's coming out in 2.0. Let's just talk about a standard funnel with let's say it's a tripwire funnel. So we have an opt-in for a freebie on our first page, which takes them to a hybrid page, which is a thank you page and a sales page. Maybe you even have a multi-hybrid page and there's an order form on there as well. That's what I like to do. Ease of process for my people is my motto. So they go through this page and now you're going to sell them a product. So they're going to learn all about it. Then they'll have the ability to purchase that product. On that order form, you have the first opportunity to raise that average cart value from just the cost of your core offer. Now you have the opportunity to put in an order bump, a real quick one-click button that's going to give them an added product. So great ones that I've seen, Steve Larson, the capitalist pig, he loves to put in as an order bump, if you buy this product now, I'll give you this funnel. So you can have the share file so you can do it in your own business. So simple. Now, the trick with order bumps is that you only have a limit, like one little paragraph to explain what your product is. And unless you're using custom code, you can't put a photo in there. So you really have to pick a product that's easy to describe. You don't get a whole sales page to talk about the benefits and overcome their obstacles. So be really concise about that. But those products and those offers and those add-ons that need a little bit more page, well, then you put those onto the next step, which would be our OTOs, or our one-time offers, our upsells, our downsells. And so what Russell's talking about that's different is being able to offer multiple different product offers on an upsell. Currently, you can only have one product on an upsell. You can't have variations. You can't do any of that. But I think what's coming is the ability to have 3 different package options, for example, and people can click through that, which is brilliant. He gave us some really, really fabulous actionable points that if you get my notes later on, I'll tell you how to do that. I'll definitely dive deeper into talking about what he was going on about, because it's brilliant. It really, really feeds into the psychology of marketing and the psychology of internet sales. And I could teach a freaking masterclass on that. So I might, and you guys are welcome to join. So for those of you who are just joining us, there's a bunch of you guys who just popped in. Thank you guys so much for joining the pre-show. This is the unofficial virtual FHL pre-show. And I know being virtual, we experienced it yesterday. There is a lot different than being there in person. There's a lot of things that kind of feel like we're missing out. We're not getting any of those freebies and the books that are being left on the chairs. We're not getting samples of juice. We're not getting those freebies that they keep talking about. We're not getting that experience of hanging out with each other in the hallway. But this show here is for you guys to get to know each other down in the chat, to come hang out with us. Let's talk about what happened the day previous, what's on tap coming up, and so much more. So I'm just going over my notes that I took from yesterday's session. We're still in the morning session, but we got time, my friends. We got time. So also, if you are here and you're enjoying this show and you've been meeting some awesome funnel hackers along the way, then definitely tag them in, let them know about the show, bring them in. We got some fun stuff to talk about today. I've invited some really awesome guests to introduce to you guys, who are going to give us some cool insider information about today. So we talked about extending our average cart value by adding on different types of OTOs, different types of offers, different ways of doing that. But we're also cautioned to stay away from upsell hell, as he calls it. And upsell hell is when we have that string of like 100 different upsells at a time. And that can be a little bit crazy. That can be crazy. And you know what also is crazy? The fact that you guys are amazing. And I want to bring up onto our stream my partner in crime, the one and only Jim Beard. How are you this morning, my friend? Is it early for you?
It's early. Yeah, my eyes are still adjusting.
Oh, that's all right. Talking about eyes adjusting, today on the stage is one of my favorite people in the entire world. I am beyond excited for this person to get up on stage. And I think they're also excited to get on the stage because they were up at 5 o'clock this morning on Facebook Live, going over some of their stuff. And they were talking about how they've been crying all night and they're all puffy eyed and they need to make sure that they calm down the puffiness. I'm like, man, that's the kind of problem I want to have. That is where I want. So we're just going over what happened yesterday. I'll tell you.
Is that a little open loop for you? Is that where
open that loop?
Right,
won't be as painful as some of the loops that were opened yesterday. Oi! Oh, all right. Are you drinking energy drinks for the morning?
I have whatever this is.
Triple shot.
Yeah.
Nice.
When double just won't do.
Oh, man. All right. So we also talked a lot yesterday about decreasing your cost per acquisition. And this is honestly where Russell is leaning really heavy into ads. So I have a feeling there is going to be a ClickFunnels ad agency that's going to be happening some point soon. I'm pretty sure because ads have been mentioned hundreds of times. So there are 7 different types of ads that Russell goes through. We have all of those options written down. Secret number 5 he went over is looking at your EPC, or your earnings per click. This is a little indicator that's up in your ClickFunnels dashboard for each of your funnel pages. And most people have no idea what it is. Long story short, that is an indicator that's going to help you understand how many people are coming into your landing page and moving past that first step. If you find that your EPC is incredibly low, it's because people are hitting your landing page and that's where they hit the wall. So that is where we go back to the other audible steps and we look at where that block is. We keep going back, we modify, we don't give up on these funnels. Then we get into secret number 6, which is letting the market vote with their credit cards. Crazy idea.
I love what Steve says about we don't fill our own wallets. I don't know where you got that from, but Steve, you're right. I have said that so many times.
We love a good Steve Larson here. If anyone else here is a capitalist pig or a fan of the Steve Larson crew, definitely let us know down below because... here's my ripoff.
Yep. Exactly.
We're going to be mentioning Steve Larson a couple more times, hopefully today. I've sent out some invitations to some people to join us that we can talk about. We can talk about Steve all we want. So secret number 7 is the last one that Russell gave us, and that is funnel stacking. This is a concept we have heard many times in the past, and that's when we take our funnels and we don't just rely on our single opt-in funnel to be what's going to generate all of our revenue. We're actually going to combine multiple different types of funnels to help our customer ascend all the way up into our higher ticket offers. I was having a quick little messenger chat with my cousin, who is an awesome real estate agent. And she was like, what is this funnel hacking thing all about? And I was like slammed in the middle of the conference. So I didn't have the ability to give her like a big proper answer. So I was like, oh, it's internet marketing. It's lead gen stuff. As a real estate agent, I can help you build a funnel that'll help you get more leads. I don't do real estate stuff. So I'm like, I am not the person to ask about real estate funnels. But it was so interesting that I had completely blanked on the idea of funnel stacking. So say you're a real estate agent, you have your opt-in funnel, which is going to get people to know that you know real estate in your area. But then you create all of these other offers that are going to help them prepare to buy that first house. You're going to help them go through a checklist to make sure they have all their resources and they're really ready and they know what they're looking for in a house. Maybe you're going to create another program that's going to help them sell their house or flip their house or whatever it is. You're helping actually take work off your own shoulders when you do that. And this is the same for any kind of business that you're using funnels for, which I think is really cool. Really cool. So that was the first session that Russell went into. We have the announcement about ClickFunnels 2.0. We now know about how to fix our funnels when they're broken. And then a familiar face came onto the stage. So I watch a lot of TV sometimes. Like I will go months without watching TV, and then I will binge like everything for a little bit. Like I'll watch these crazy shows. I don't even know the names of them, but there's this one show that is completely irrelevant to the topic, but it's like people who like date people in different countries and then they get married and try to get like spouse visas and stuff. So I call it Angry Couples International. It's a great show. Then there's this other show. I don't even have a name for it, but this familiar face that walked onto the stage, I had seen him not only on American Ninja Warrior, But I also saw him on this show where you sit in this chair and it's kind of like being at a carnival in a trivia game in space, and they just kind of wing you around. And then you have to like answer these trivia questions, and then they wing you around again. And I was like, this is the most ridiculous show ever. But this contestant is like contagiously positive. I like this guy. And in that quick little moment of seeing him on the show in this stupid, ridiculous contraption that swings him around, his positivity really shone through. And he was the dang guy on stage at Funnel Hacking Live yesterday.
You're speaking to the professional football player turned American Ninja Warrior turned life coach turned amazing turned
absolutely
all the things. Like
absolutely.
When they were announcing all of his stuff, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, dang, overachiever. Like, all right, get him.
That session was incredible because we go in like with this resume list of like incredible accomplishments that most people would be in awe of accomplishing just one of the things on the list that he's been able to do. So we go in with that expectation. He has incredible energy. And then he dives into his life story. That resume of incredible accomplishments was not easy to accomplish in the first place. He had to overcome so much. He had to push through so much to get to where he was. And I love the fact that he did not take advantage or take for granted any of that. He took every day as an opportunity to push forward. To his whole session was about shifting the stories we tell in our heads, or that identity we're stuck to that is stopping us from moving forward, stopping us from overcoming those obstacles, from becoming the experts, from becoming whatever it is you want to become. And that was so powerful, so powerful. So his first secret, he has a 3-secret presentation. First one is understanding that there is an identity gap, that space between who you are right now and who you need to become in order to accomplish the goals that you've set for yourself. Catherine Jones would talk about the stories we tell ourselves and seeing that there is a gap between the stories that we are currently telling ourselves and the stories we need to be telling ourselves to accomplish what we want to accomplish. His second secret is the realization that there is a wall in front of us, that getting things done and actually changing those stories and acting in alignment with those stories feels out of character for us. And things that are out of character can actually be both positive and negative. Things that are out of character might be like, oh, Jim, you're like rather quiet. That's out of character. What's wrong? Instead of, Jim, you're quiet. That's out of character. What are you thinking about? I think there could be something cool there.
Unicorns. You asked.
So understanding that taking those actions that feel out of character or might appear to others outside of you are out of character, don't let that stop you from moving forward. That is a space and an opportunity for you to push through and to grow. Becoming who you need to become requires us to act out of character. If we acted in character, we would stay exactly where we are right now. So change that mindset, push through and overcome that wall, and make sure that we are constantly leaning in to our processes. So that, yeah.
He was incredible. He was contagious. Like when he's just like pacing and he's just like, oh my, and then he's like, camera guy, he can't follow me.
Yeah, he can't follow me.
I was like, oh man, I love this guy. This guy's a lot of fun. And that song he came out to, I was like, I don't know what this is, but I feel like I'm ready for anything.
I was ready for someone to start fighting. And then that third secret he talks about is making sure that we take that shift. We take that identity shift and we actually run with it. So yeah, I have notes on all of that, my friends, but the bottom line biggest takeaway from that presentation is to make shift happen. We have to change the stories we tell ourselves. We have to feel sure of ourselves and know that where we are going is where we are meant to be. And those actions we need to take are there because we have that goal in mind. We have to shift our actions. We have to shift our stories. And when we get there, we got to keep repeating that process over and over again. Loved it. Loved it.
Ooh.
Oh, man. Okay.
Another thing I thought was cool was that Russell dived into a little bit of like more details about the ads. And he was like, ideal video length.
Yeah.
Which I have constantly people asking me about, how long should this be? Where should I post it to? Which platform is most beneficial? What type of ad should we run? And I have my own answers from experience, but it was so cool to see someone at his level that is like, this is what we use. I was like immediately like, oh God, I have to have this information. So like he gave us that awesome screen grab about the ideal video length for each ad type. Lifestyle, 21 seconds. But I just saw this and had to get up and get ready, but I won't have time today. But look at doing this. Sorry, 1 second. I was trying to get a guest on to join us.
Marley Jax had to politely decline today's invitation because she's getting ready, getting her hair did, looking great, could take over the world.
All right. So, yes, that was exactly what that was. Yeah. So lifestyle is 21 seconds. Social proof style ad type is 44 seconds. Dynamic is 9. Product demos 25. Case studies 44. Spokesperson, this was interesting, 92. By far the longest one. Unboxing 29 seconds. Notice that there's only one that goes over a minute. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah. So often we feel like when we're shooting video, we always think we have to do this long form content. We have to either be really short and really impactful, and that means we have to throw our arms around and we have to be really crazy, or we have to sit on a stream for 6 or 7 or 8 hours at a time. And it's neither of those, guys. It is understanding what is the purpose of the piece of content you're creating, whether it's an ad, whether it's a funnel, whether it's a video sales letter, whether it's a webinar. There isn't a specific amount of time that you need to be there. It's understanding who your audience is, what is the purpose of the piece of content you're creating, and how can you serve them the best value. With ads, it's really hard to know who your customer is. So following these guidelines that have been tested by the biggest budgets in all of funnel world is a fantastic place to get started, especially with your ads. He breaks them down into those beautiful 7 categories, which is great. Like, I know our team is going to sit down and go, all right, we're going to have our ads meeting. Let's go through each and every one of these 7 categories and figure out what can we build out, what assets do we already have, what assets can we quickly create to meet all of those different categories in all of those different times. It's like Canva templates for ads.
It's true. And it's nice that you have these guidelines now, because it's like now proof is in the pudding. Like, this is what ClickFunnels uses. This is what they use as a benchmark. And like, we had Kevin Anson on Content Chop Shop. I don't know if you were able to see that one, but he mentioned that too. He was like, short form, high energy, brilliant, vibrant colors works.
Yeah.
And talking about 10 to 15 second attention resets, like Marley talks about all the time. And it's just further being shown by ClickFunnels themselves. So I thought that was really cool that he spent a little more time on that, to where we could really kind of get a bigger picture on the whole thing.
I think for a lot of people who have been in the funnel space for a while, or people who are coming in new, one of the big things that they're missing is when they're looking at why their funnel isn't working. We've gone over all the audibles, all the little things you can tweak. But if you don't turn on the faucet, your cup is not going to fill. If you don't have traffic coming in, no one's going to go through your funnel. And so those different pieces of traffic, we talk about all the different organic ways to work your traffic, like Russell teaches in our hashtag Brunson book, Traffic Secrets. Make sure you swear on your Brunson book today, my friends. And we learned all of that in Traffic Secrets, but this year he's taking it to the next level and showing us really deeply how paid traffic works to our advantage, how to play that game. If you're a big guy, if you're a little guy, and he really leaned on the go get an ad agency kind of aspect. So you don't need to have to learn how to do all of this. They have brilliant people on these marketing teams, on these ad agency teams who are going to do that for you. You just give them your content, tell them about your customer, give them some money, and bam, it works. It's fabulous. So, Jim, when you got into the world of funnel hacking, and this is a question for you guys down in the chat as well. When you guys got into funnel hacking, who was the attractive character that drew you in? Was it Russell? Was it Todd? Was it someone else in his inner circle? I have two names that drew me in initially, and I want to know who you
it was. Actually, first was Billie Jean.
Yeah.
Before Russell. I didn't know Russell existed before Billie Jean. And then Russell. So, and then after Russell was Steve in like a big way.
Yeah.
And then Colton. Colton just reaffirmed. Colton Woods I hope you guys know who Colton Woods is. He's fantastic. One of the greatest guys you'll ever meet. Yeah, so those were my big ones. And then Marley right after that. And let's see here. Dougie Fresh coming out of OFA.
Yeah.
And Akbar.
Yep.
Akbar was a little more recent for like systems that I'm trying to implement.
So when I got into the world of ClickFunnels, the first person I saw that I went, I could do that. That could be me. Was Lady Boss.
Ooh,
I was like,
yeah.
Because I had come into this world of internet marketing and all I had seen was dudes. It was all dudes. They were all serving products to dudes. And I'm not someone who's really attracted to hot pink or anything like that, but I definitely was attracted to an understanding of a female customer in a way that doesn't belittle them. It's in a way of understanding their customer that excites them, empowers them, and pushes their customers to be their best selves in the least woo-woo way possible. And so when I saw Lady Boss stuff, and just like people will say, do what Russell says, and that's what Lady Boss will say as well. I was like, do what Lady Boss says. So just do what she says. It's clearly working. It's clearly working in her business. So I did that. The first systems and funnel ideas that I sketched out for my business were all based on funnel hacking her funnels. And so the ability to get to see her on stage this year was incredible. And then the second person is Liz Benny. So just putting it out there into the world. If anyone ever has the ability to hook me up and get me a Liz Benny high five, you will be my best friend forever. Just putting it out there. There's something about seeing people who look like me, seeing people who have struggles and worries like me succeeding in this world, definitely got me hooked. So let's talk about the Lady Boss session. Yeah, if you guys were paying attention to this incredible session as well, I want you to drop down in the chats. Let me know what your biggest takeaway from the Lady Boss session was. So she talked about blending your info products and your physical products in your business. And so often in the funnel world, we get siloed. We put these blinders on, and we stick a note on our chest and we say, hi, my name is whatever, and I am a e-commerce, or I'm in. Literally at Funnel Hacking Live, when you are there in person, you get your little badge, your attendance badge, and then you can get these little flags that stick on the bottom of your lanyard. This is one from last year. It says Funnel Hacker. You can get ones that say coach. You can get ones that say author. And for some reason, I thought that was kind of cool. But when I was picking mine, I was like, I'm all of these. So I stuck all of the stickers on my lanyard and it kind of went down to my knees. And I looked around and I realized that no one else was doing that. They were all picking one. They were all saying, I do this and only this. But this year we shook it up. This year, Lady Boss herself is asking us to diversify our products by looking and listening to our customers. And that was like, boom. She literally asked us. She literally gave us permission to have those labels all the way down to your knees and even further if you want. But don't do it because you have all these crazy ideas. Do it because you've literally asked your people. So what she asks us to do, her 3-step process is to listen, to ask, and to execute. Listen, ask, and execute. Literally, I wrote this. Literally ask your people what they struggle with. What are their biggest problems? And then create solutions for them. But the thing that she asks us to do that's different than just a regular ask campaign of ask your people, provide the solution, is she will build it into her community. So what she'll do is she'll ask her people what their biggest problems are or what are you struggling with. Then she'll create solutions on the back end. She'll understand what they're saying. So there's a little bit of reading into what people are saying that she talked about in her session. Then she creates solutions. She focuses with her team on figuring out who can help them. What resources do they need? Executing on that product, giving it out to their people. But before she gives it out to their people, along that development process, she's constantly showing them the process and getting them to vote on it. Voting on this process allows them to have not only their opinions shared, but to be part of a team. When we talk about gamification of your funnel process, that is a beautiful way to do it without having to build a funnel. I love it. I love it. That was my biggest takeaway, is not only ask your people, but bring them along for the process and ask them for their input along the way. I love it. I love it.
That's so true. And I mean, ask campaigns have been huge for me personally.
Yeah.
Like, what a different, because it seems like, well, duh. But until you do it, and then people are like, I don't want that. I want that. This is cool. That sucks. Try this, do that. And it's like, oh my God. Okay. Got it. Like now I have a direction.
Yeah.
Because, they talk about like, we're kind of taking one step at a time in complete and utter darkness.
Yeah.
And that you're focusing on just that next step, planting that foot, and then the next one. And that's it. You can't be looking too far ahead because you can't see it.
Yeah.
So what that does by doing the ask campaign is it gives you a little flashlight.
Yeah.
Just a little tiny spotlight to where it's like, okay, got it.
Yeah.
They tell you where they want you to go.
Yep. I love it. I love it. So we went through that Lady Boss session, and then we wrapped up that part of the conference with an incredible, moving conversation with Todd and Russell and Stu McLaren from Tribe, and he was talking about the Liberate and Educate program. We then transitioned into a conversation about the Operation Underground Railroad fundraiser that's been put on, which I have to say that there was a lot of pyramid gestures and pyramids. It's pretty much just the Operation Underground Railroad game that they're putting out there. Very much feels like it's a pyramid scheme. It's a money donation pyramid scheme. And I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it because it's for a good cause. But it's just very interesting to see it displayed that way, to see lots of hand gestures that talk about it this way. And they were trying very, very hard not to say the word pyramid the whole time. It was great. It was great. Then we had a break and went into our breakout rooms So there were 4 breakout rooms. There was one with Myron Golden on sales. There was a second one with Catherine Jones on funnel design and funnel building, a third session with Rachel Miller on traffic, which was all about creating a content plan. And there was the unicorn himself, Jim Edwards, talking about copywriting. So I went to the Myron Golden session. I know a bunch of you guys went to that session as well. It was an absolute honor to hear you guys talking about the pre-show in that Zoom group, which was just lit me up. So what happened was everyone had their mics muted. So I'm like Voxer messaging Jim this whole time, and he thought I was like drinking way too many triple shots or something. So we're sitting in this Zoom waiting room. We can hear the background music. And there's like 100 people sitting in on the virtual Zoom, and someone decided, this is kind of like your artificial intelligence comes to life, and this is how it happens. Someone was like, "What happens if I unmute myself? What happens if I unmute myself and I talk?" So someone was like, "Hey, listen up." And then people just started unmuting and saying hi to each other. And then there was a little pause in the conversation. So I was like, "Hey guys, I'm just going to pop in and just tell you guys I do a pre-show. You guys can join us. It's awesome.
Don't
and
say
I'd love
pop
to see you guys
in.
there."
Marley's watching.
I know, but I'm purposely saying pop in because
stop the pop.
No, I'm here with purpose, but my guests are here just popping by. They're coming by with brunch. So I just start talking about the pre-show, just a quick little, not trying to dominate the conversation. This is not Clubhouse. And so we had a bunch of people who were like, "Hey, I was listening to your show this morning." So that was super cool. If that was you, by the way, definitely drop it down in the comments, because that was so cool. And then we started having this conversation about Myron and how people have been attracted to him. What is it about his teachings that really have inspired people? And that was really cool. I chose to go to Myron's session. I was debating between Myron's session, Jim's session, and Catherine's session. So I'm in Catherine's program, so I've probably heard what she's about to teach. So I'm going to let other people take that session. Then I was like,
by the way, credit to Catherine Jones. She puts out awesome stuff.
Incredible stuff. My friends were sending me pictures of her session and sending me their ideas, their notes, and their feedback. And oh my God. Like, I wish I had access to all of them. So Catherine, you're amazing. We love you. Paul, we love you. Catherine's team, we love you. Second one I was going to go to was Jim Edwards, but I have funnel scripts and I have the copywriting secrets, and I'm not entirely focused on his on copywriting at the moment. So I was going to move on to Myron's session, and I'm so glad I did. But there were so many people in that room who have been longtime Myron fans, who have been listening to his stuff, who have been following his content for years, and it's literally changed their lives. And it was really powerful to hear some of that testimony from people, which was awesome. But it was also really great to hear some testimonials from Myron, of Myron's stuff, which was great. So 10 points for that. And then the moderators cut us off because we were having too much fun. And then they started sending messages around in the chat saying, this isn't a place to talk about personal business. Just
anymore.
Well, it was actually Russell would like to remind you.
Fair enough. If it's
okay, Rusty.
If it's Papa Wusty, then you got to do what you got to do. I understand.
But I didn't drop any links, so it's okay. Good. I was just chatting. All right, so those of you who I love you guys in the chat. You guys are great. Okay, so I am going to share with you some of my big takeaways from Myron's session. really, I'm not going to go through all the notes. If you want my notes, I will tell you later on. Actually, if you want my notes, well, let's just talk about this now. If you want my notes, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I'm building you guys a little funnel area so I can just put them all in there and you guys can go there and get them. But it's not completely finished yet. So what I need you guys to do is, if you want my notes, I will happily give them to you. I'm not charging you for any of them. I just want to keep them organized because that's how I think. So if you want my notes, I want you to drop down hashtag notes in the chat. And then during my next break, I will go through those and send you the links for the notes. Okay. Hashtag notes. If you want my notes, hashtag notes in the chat, my friends. Okay. So Myron Golden, he's all about sales and he connects a lot of what he talks about to the Bible and to teachings in the Bible, which was kind of cool. But I have, okay, let's see. The thing that I circled with the most number of lines underneath it would be make more offers. Make more offers. So what he gave this example and he said, take the number of offers that you put out there in 1 year. Figure out how many offers you send out in a year.
I've heard,
which for a lot of people in the beginning process of your business is going to be a number that you can actually calculate probably on one hand. Maybe. A lot of us get into this idea that we should be building our funnels and building our business, which means we're going to do that before we start asking for sales. But no, make more offers. So take that number of offers you put out there in 1 year and make that many offers in 1 month. Then take that number of offers that you make in 1 month and do that in 1 week. Then take what you do in a week and do it in a day. Take what you do in a day and do it in an hour, every hour. That is how you're going to come up with massive amounts of cash flow in your business.
That's intense.
And that is intense. And I'm sure there are a lot of objections that you're coming up with, like, oh, I can't fulfill on that. Or, oh, what if everyone says no? Or da-da-da-da-da. What I have learned from Catherine, well, what Catherine helped make sure that she hammered into my head that I already knew, but I was denying, is the fact that no one is going to say yes to you if you don't ask them in the first place.
That's very, very true.
Know that when you go swimming, when you walk into a lake, you're going to get wet, but you're also going to have fun. So when you put your offers out there into the world, yeah, you're going to get wet. You're going to get people who say no. That is a given, but you are going to find people who say yes. You are going to have fun while you're doing this process. So understand that people saying no is not a personal attack against you. It's simply just not the right product, solution, customer match. Move on to the next one. Maybe listen to the feedback this person's giving, because maybe they have a different problem that you can adjust, pivot your conversation and offer them that solution. But bottom line, make more offers in the chat. Make
definitely something that sticks
offers
in my mind, because I don't make many offers. So now I got to take not many to being, I make a ton of offers. So here we go. Offer train coming through.
Oh, I love it. So Myron's session was packed full of great information. Absolutely great information. So anyone here in the chat right now, anyone here, if you went to Myron's session, I want you to put hashtag golden in the chat, because let's blow up the gold. Let's blow up the gold. If you went to Catherine's session, I want you to go hashtag sparkle, because she was wearing her incredible sparkly jacket yesterday. She is so easy to spot in that jacket. I had this moment where I sent out a message to my funnel hacking friends, and was like, hey, if anyone is there in person and they see me on the digital screens for the virtual version, if possible, take a photo of it. I would love a photo of it. And as I was writing that, I get a text message from Corey Carter saying, hey, I saw you on the screen, but I popped up so quickly he couldn't take a picture. But that was so cool. He messaged me. He's like, I saw you. And then immediately, 2 shots later, there's this big panning shot of the crowd, and right at the doors that were open, I see this beautiful sparkly jacket. And there is Catherine and her amazing husband standing right there. They were on the far side of the shot, but you could see them because of that jacket.
Catherine and Marley both wearing sparkle jackets? Are they?
Well, they are
Hopefully
both.
they're different colors. Did Catherine go with silver? Because Marley goes with gold.
Yeah, Catherine has silver. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Acceptable. We're good. Clear?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I want like a black shiny one. I think that would be my my thing. I don't know.
Gothic sparkle. I see what you're doing.
Gothic sparkle, exactly.
I see what you're doing. It's cool.
Unicorn at night.
Unicorn at night.
All right. Awesome. So before we dive into our next topic that we're going to talk about, let's have a party. Let's bring our people on. Let's have a party.
Oh, look at this. You guys are just waiting in the wings.
What's going on? Good morning.
What's up?
Good morning.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Jim Beer? Hey, Molly. How are you?
Talk to me. Some things. So you guys know a little bit about what we're talking about. We just got done talking about Myron Golden, talking about just like, you better pick up those offers. Get that offer trainer rolling, because he says anything that you make in a year offer wise, you need to make in a month, you need to make in a week, you need to make in a day. Like, whoo, like for me, that like raises my blood pressure. How about you guys? You guys are like, yeah, Marvin's right. I'm doing what he says right now.
No, he dropped a lot of fire there. Don't be attached to the outcome of a yes, and stop trying to find people, position yourself to be found. It's like, oh
yes,
man, he gave you like that parent tough love. Instead of like telling you all what you want to hear, he told you what you need to hear.
The best part of it, though, was he was really intense about some of the stuff he was talking about. And he's like reading off his iPad or something, just making sure he's on cue. And then he looks up and he goes,
I'm about to attack.
And he gives this like really awkward smile. And he's like, I have to smile.
Here it comes.
I have to remind you that I still like you. It was so good. So good. So James, did you also go down to the to Myron's session?
No, I went to Rachel's session actually.
Okay.
Oh, tell us about it.
She was amazing. In fact, I took more note. Here's the trick though. So her session is like one of the shortest sessions of the whole thing, right? I took more notes in her session than I took for everybody else almost combined.
Wow. All right. Yeah.
It was,
so she was helping you create 100 days of content?
It was that, but it was also like defining how you're going to get that content in front of your traffic, and pull that traffic in and begin to grow your audience like you've never grown them before. And it was really good. She really dove deep into mind mapping, and which I do already. I think a lot of us do already, but she gave you she kind of expanded what she does, which is a real mess. Just to be very honest about it, it's a mess when you see her notes, but when she breaks it down and how she got there, it's genius. It's pure genius. And especially when you have 6 kids running around, and she told it. I think this is a really good story. She told the story of one of her kids when he was 2. He couldn't stand to have clothes on. He would be naked in about 30 seconds at the grocery store if he could. And so, here in Texas, 30 degrees, that's like being in at the North Pole in the middle of December. And she says she walked into the grocery store. Of course, he's already taken his socks and shoes off. And this little granny lady comes up to her and says, hey, let me help you because she's like struggling. She'd already put his clothes on backwards so he couldn't take them off. And so, and so she was like struggling with the socks and shoes, and this little granny lady, and she goes, no, I've got this. And she goes, you have to remember, no, you've got this. No matter what's going on in your process, you've got this. You just got to go through your process. She knows how to deal with her kids. We know how to deal with our business and with the folks that we want to get in front of. We've already got this. We just got to do it. And that was a big takeaway for me that, sometimes we get really, really stuck and trying to do what everybody else is doing instead of doing what we should be doing. That was one. She gave a ton of bubbles for the mind maps, which were really good. The other one was photo, video, and conversation starters. And she goes, who in here has been looking at Facebook recently and been critiquing their new fonts? I'm like, so here's me. I'm not a true content creator, right? So I'm going, they have new fonts? Who knew? I didn't know. And so that was one. Then video, and her, like you guys were talking about earlier about short, concise video content, keeping it simple just really pays dividends. She goes, ugly, simple, perfect. That's what works. And she goes, don't try to overcomplicate it. I have a friend, this is his quote: the more ghetto, the more money. So he very rarely publishes any video where he's sitting behind a computer unless it's in a mastermind setting. Every piece of content he publishes is him walking somewhere, on the beach, on the road, on a walk, in the gym. He's walking somewhere with his phone held in front of his face, going blah, 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 blah. And it's all ghetto. And for that, he's attracted thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people following him. He's done tens of millions in the last 3 years or so. And so that was really good. The last one was a conversation starter. Are you picking up what everybody else is putting down? So people will make they'll make an offhanded comment about something. Are you catching what they're saying that you could step on that and go to the next level, which was kind of interesting. And I don't know that she meant it to come out like that. She might have meant it for something else, but that's what I really got out of it, is that conversation starter. Where are you going with that? She gave a lot of, she talked about a lot about using different software to automate, from transcribing to releasing. But she was amazing. She was absolutely amazing. And none of the slides hardly worked. Every time she would hit the clicker, it would skip 2 slides. And so she would show us the big reveal before she went through the process, which was funny in itself.
Oh man. So I see in the background of your desk, not only do you have the trilogy, but you have a lot of Navy stuff.
I do.
So first off, what are your action points? If we are in your command and you need to tell us, your minions, to get something done, what is your one action step you take away from her session?
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. I like it.
All right.
I like it. I always like to say, Jim and I do a lot of live streaming, and we teach people to make these cool live stream shows and stuff. And I have this principle called KISS. And most people are like, keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple to start with. Keep it simple to start with. You can always make something more complicated later on, just like our kids. Our kids are pretty simple in what their needs are at the beginning. And as they grow, they get a heck of a lot more complicated. So keep it simple to start with. Keep it simple. I like it. Andy, what are your big takeaways from Myron's? What's one big takeaway? Because there was a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, Myron's. I haven't typed up. I'm the guy like writes notes, retypes them. I haven't retyped his part yet. The biggest takeaway from Myron.
Scribble.
Oh yeah, my notes are just all. I mean, it's just it makes sense. I promise. I'd probably say, one of the biggest takeaways from him is
there it is.
Because he had a lot of, I think I got 3 or 4 pages of just like sentences here. But the bigger the payoff, the less the price matters. I think learning to understand how to
say it
position
again.
The bigger the payoff, the less the price matters.
No.
Right? Find those master keys to X and sell it to others. So if it's, because sometimes you think price being high ticket can be intimidating, but if the payoff is a great multiplier of that, the less the price matters. It's like,
great point.
It made me think of that meme we've probably all seen where someone said like the $500 client, is like, this means everything to me. My family depends on this. My kids may not eat next week if this doesn't work. And I'm not down knocking someone's budget who's at that level by any means. But whereas the 5K client's like, money sent, thanks.
Yeah.
They just want the thing solved. They're outsourcing it all. They don't. They trust.
Amazing.
So it's kind of like, again, the bigger the payoff, the less the price matters. I'd say if I had to pick one out of the gate.
Awesome points.
Yeah. Or another big one. Here's some weight for everyone to carry. There's no such thing as arrival, only arriving. You know, because you're never there. You're always going there.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
doesn't stop.
That's
Absolutely. Oh man. So did you guys tune in for the evening session?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Advanced audibles.
No, the real estate. The
Oh,
funnel
real estate. Yep. That one too. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so funnel real estate was pretty much a session on how to make a bunch of little funnels. It was a kind of over the shoulder look of Russell having fun, testing out more funnel stuff, which is what he does best. So he was showing us different things from buying companies that went bankrupt and fixing them with funnels to have it different ways that you can find businesses that need your help, that need your expertise within the funnel systems, with whatever your superpower is. How can you help other businesses and make lots of money in the process? So what did you guys think of that session?
That was cool. It some of the key insights too. It's like whether you, because also it's kind of that. I think he also mentioned in his session where he's like, this contradicts the focus on one because now you're going wide. But if you have bandwidth and also just to hone your craft maybe and to get into, it's almost like the JK5 method. If you have 5 different areas of interest, this could maybe fit in there. But what I thought was neat, if you look at it too as a leverage thing, is it's not just buying their funnel. If it's an area you have interest in joining or can complement you in some way, you're also buying the knowledge they have that got them to there. So it could cut out X amount of hours of research and develop and contacts and sourcing. And so there's some, if you see it to me in that strategy way, it could actually complement some of the stuff you do. Like say there's apparel to complement your stuff and you find someone that's kind of like your stuff. You could, when you buy it, also kind of understand what's their distribution, who's bringing it, how are they sourcing as part of that transaction, so you don't have to figure it out. So I was like, that's pretty player. I like that.
Yeah, and I think it was a neat step from what we've already known about Russell and the way that he works with his clients, where he will take equity in your company. Like you pay him and he will take equity. So that's how he's been able to grow this huge portfolio. So I'm like, that can work regardless of if you're Russell Brunson, if you're the top corner office of your marketing agency, or if you're some guy who builds funnels in your basement. And this is a really cool way to help people dip their toe into that world where they can start getting start getting equity in other people's companies by using their superpowers to help them out with that stuff, which is so cool. So cool. And that's also a great way to hone your skills, test out what works, test out what doesn't, and make money in the process.
I think that one of the things I walked away after listening to that whole thing, of course, I'm like, take my money. I'm going to buy everything. I'm going to buy some Zuma juice, Argon broth, and I'm ordering my Zuma juice this morning because I want that funnel for the. Because I have a client coming up with the exact same thing, so I'm like, yes, I want that. But what I walked away honestly thinking about was picking a day a week and diving into that and seeing what it would look like, and becoming. Here's the thing. Here's what my takeaway is that becoming the Robert Kiyosaki the digital space, because that's where Russell's headed with this, honestly. That's where he's going to buy 5 million sites that he can promote. None of them will make $1 zillion. They'll all make money like this, but it'll have a wide spreading portfolio. And
it's the digital franchise.
We heard a lot of really good things yesterday. That might have been the thing that people slept on and didn't catch the most, but might have been the most value in the long run, because I'm thinking when, in 15 or 20 years from now, and you've got this ginormous portfolio that you've worked on once a week, what does your life look like then?
Yeah.
Who can you impact?
Ray Kroc became a billionaire because of what, 1% stake in each McDonald's location?
Yeah, you know, and it's because it's a realty company. They're not a food company.
You're absolutely right. I'm absolutely right.
All right, guys, I'm going to take this moment to give us a little bit of a shift because in the last 30 minutes of our stream today, we're going to shift, stop talking about yesterday, start talking about today, because this is the perfect segue. Day 2 is, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, my favorite day, one of my favorite days of Funnel Hacking Live, because it's all about the funnels. So today, this is first, I'm going to bring on our next guest because we have lots of guests on the show. Hello, and welcome. So our funnels are our people who are going to be on stage today. The one and only Trent Shelton, because we really like the NFL. I guess we're into the NFL this year, which is totally fine by me. Looks like that's going to be a really cool session. We got Krista Mashore. I'm bad at this. And we have McCall Jones. I'm super excited about McCall Jones because if you guys were watching earlier in the stream and I was talking about one of my friends who was all puffy-eyed at 5 a.m, getting really excited for their presentation. Well, that's McCall Jones. And I have to tell you guys, last year at Funnel Hacking Live, she went to support her sister-in-law, Catherine. She was there as a family support member. She was looking around going, who are these crazy marketers? I am not a marketer. And by the end of it, she was all in. And she took what she learned at Funnel Hacking Live and has exploded her visibility and her business. And now she's friggin' on stage. And I could not be more proud of her. And this is just... I'm literally going to cry throughout the whole session, so don't even look for me on virtual because I'm turning my camera off. I will be bawling my eyes out in incredible pride for this incredible woman. So check out her session. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. We got John Lee Dumas and talking about publishing 7 days a week. Yeah. While he's traveling the world. And that laptop lifestyle, I know, is what everyone is looking for in their life. We got the Harwards, and they're going to be bringing up a great session as well. There are so many things that are happening today, but what I need you guys to do is focus, pay attention, set your goals, swear on your Brunson books, pick your goals. Actually, let's do that now. Let's do that right now, guys. It's time to hashtag swear on a Brunson book. So grab a Brunson book, my friends. We did this yesterday. We're going to do this every day. Carrie, I got a second one for you. Here. Okay. I got 2 for us. Okay? One's yours, one's mine. All right.
I'm just grabbing
so you're gonna grab your Brunson books, my friends.
I was trying to get one out.
Yeah, I'm just grabbing the whole thing.
They live in that box a little too tight, I think. So we're going to swear on our Brunson books. We're going to pick our goal for today. Yesterday, I said I was going to take really great notes for you guys. I'm carrying that one over, and I am going to actually I'm going to write an action step that I'm going to take from each and every one of these funnels. So that's me swearing on a Brunson book. You guys throw your goals down in the comments. And speakers, let's start with Carrie. You just started. What's your goal for today?
I think my goal today is really just to find that one thing that I'm gonna take away. Like I'm that person where I try to keep things super simple. So I'm like one thing a day. That's all I need. That'll take me far in life.
That's gold. That's gold. Andy, what's your goal for today?
My goal, it's kind of a mix between what Trent and Chris are going to be talking about. It's really understanding more deeper frameworks of turning your content, as he says, like cultivate deep relationships with the people you serve. But then also on the flip side is your pre-funnel strategies and your marketing efforts to be paying off long before your audience hits your page. I mean, because the funnel is the key cornerstone where the transformation happens in the transaction. But really understanding what are the mechanics beforehand that makes that a more seemingly process. That's when I'm targeted to kind of see those strategies and techniques.
I love it. I love it. James, what's your goal for today?
Mine's actually really, really simple because it's my call for the whole event. and that's to simply be present and to relax and not to get stressed about trying to get every little morsel out of it, but to allow my heart to be open and to receive what God's actually got for me in this moment. Because I really do believe this event, I missed last year because I had to leave at the last minute just before going to it. And so I missed the event. I was in Nashville, and I got to hear, the opening, of course, because it was on YouTube. And I was like, wow. And it transformed what I did the rest of the year in business. It really did. But this event for me is just a point of being present and allowing God to speak into my heart. I know what my passion, I know what my mission is. And somebody's got something for me every day, each and every session. I'm going to take something out of that I'm going to apply it. It may be great, it may be small, but I'm just going to be present to receive.
Excellent.
I love that.
I love it. I love it. Hope is saying in the chat that she has set her goal to find the control of her niche, which is so
excellent.
powerful, guys. Finding that control, no matter what your industry, no matter what your niche. So good on you, Hope. That's a great one. And Jim, what's your goal for today?
My goal is very similar to James. It's just to have relaxed focus, if that's such a thing, of just trying to hone in on one thing, because so much of my day is here. So for just to put the blinders on and just take it in.
I know that Jim and I are working on something really, really big, and we did this great big brainstorm and came up with a million different ways to serve our audience. And we both have to remind each other constantly that we have to stay focused. We have to rein it in. We have to keep it simple to start with. We got to keep doing that. And so I'm tagging on to that as well, Jim, because I know we keep each other accountable. We got accountability buddies going on. I'm making sure that we're not overcomplicating stuff for our people. And that is something that can happen today. They're going to give you so many different types of funnels and ways to bring people into your funnels. And you're going to leave today going, I want every single one of those in my business right now. Lady Boss told me to do it. No, Lady Boss told you to get one thing. One thing. Focus on it, deliver it, make it amazing. Just like Carrie was saying, think of get one golden nugget from today. Nurture that, give it out into the world. Take that piece of coal, shine the crap out of it, make it into a diamond, get it out there to the world, then go back and focus on that next step, because our customers are the ones who are going to set the tone. They are the ones who are going to give us their credit cards. As Jim already mentioned today, we don't fill our own friggin' wallets, do we?
Stevie
All right, Carrie,
Larson, coming from Steve.
There you go. There you go.
And no one's mentioned it, but I gotta say, if there's one more Jones that hits the stage, they've got a dynasty.
Well, I have insider information. McCall Jones, the sister-in-law of Catherine Jones, who's married to one of the brothers of Catherine Jones. Well, they work together. Like, they paired up. So we got the Tanner Jones brilliant SEO mind.
I just want to throw out there.
I love it.
That Tanner is like amazing. He has literally become like Andy, Jim, like, don't take this personally. He has literally become like one of my.
It's not you, it's me.
Favorite. He has become like instant favorite in the Carrie world. And he is like literally like me and him like last night, like after Catherine's workshop, we literally were cracking up together. It was so fun.
So the dynasty's like, in the making.
I was like, just know that you're a lifer now. Welcome.
All right, Andy. It was bound to happen. Someday maybe we could work our way back up.
Carrie, I'm not mad at you.
Are you mad with her?
It's like I'm just disappointed.
Ooh, hit her with that parent talk.
No, I'm just trying to.
Yeah, hit her with
No,
the parent
um,
talk. That's
I'm just
good.
going to give you guys a quick update for those of you who are joining Funnel Hacking Live 2021 on our virtual stage. Advanced admission is already opened. They are running inside. They're going to open general admission in the next 5 minutes. So it's definitely time to head over to your funnel dashboard to head into that main stage Zoom room. Get all of your tech set up. Make sure you're good. I got the music playing in the background. You might be able to hear it. But man, today it's going to be exciting. Devon just asked us to keep our cameras on because a lot of people turned their cameras off yesterday. I did. We had a storm here, so the signal kept jumping out. Just saying.
Yeah, no, it's I like really lucky. Like all of my friends are all access, early access, so they already saved my seat so that I can hang out with you guys and not feel the stress.
Well played.
So I'm just gonna like roll in like.
I think they said earlier it's one of the big key points, and this is a takeaway that Carrie just dropped for everyone watching, is networking.
Yeah.
So by networking, you
like
boom.
So this beautiful person right here, Andy Griffith, literally like we met at FHL last year, and like he became an Insta family, and like literally like that was like that's the big thing like with FHL, like especially when you go live and stuff. And the thing is, you can do it virtual as well. Like just be in the chat, have those conversations, because like those conversations, those relationships, like I don't know what I would do without Andy. Like what would my life be like without Andy? Because realistically,
I wonder how many people say that. It's got to be thousands.
There would be no without Andy. There would be no gym. Think about that, Jim.
I'm talking about Andy right now. Focus, Carrie.
Man. I don't know what to say, guys. I'm turning like a strawberry over here. Thank you.
And the thing is, like, it's but for real, like our relationship is so amazing, and it literally came from us bumping to each other. We say, "Hey, do you want to sit with us?" Because like him and Ryan were about to sit by themselves, and he was like, "All right, okay."
Yeah.
And literally, like we just started talking, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love you so much."
It's like high school lunch. You can have my chocolate milk.
And like it was so funny because like he was
she let us sit at the cool table.
Nice.
Yeah, he was like taking lots of notes and stuff, and like I was being like that person that just wanted to hang out in the world. So like literally like every time he was going in, I was going out. So like
we was tagging each other. It's like high five.
See, next year when I come to Funnel Hacking Live in person, I'm going to bring snack packs because those were always the way to get good friends. It's like, I got an extra snack pack.
Yes, but you have to make sure that you put your logo on it.
Ooh, there you go.
Because
Branding's
clearly
everything.
branded.
Carrie
And then
knows.
make sure that
Carrie knows.
make sure people throw their garbage out so that you're not known as the logo of trash wrappers.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of what you got to do.
That's true.
But my friends, if you are here live, if you are here on a replay, if you are here in the chat, if you are watching this 5 years from now, it doesn't matter. What I want you to do is use this show as an opportunity to network. What I want you to do is drop in the chat, tag all of your friends who you have met along the way, whether they're in person, whether they're virtual FHLers, bring them into the show because we are growing. I set a crazy goal that I wanted twice as many viewers today as we had yesterday, and we hit that goal, so that's incredible. But I need you guys to help grow this pre-show family. So bring your friends, tell them about how awesome this session is, just like we had in our conversation in Myron's session, talking about how fun this show is, because I love you guys, and I want you guys to meet more people. When we're sitting in this virtual event, it feels like we're kind of isolated. We have that feeling of, oh, everyone else is getting free books and free juice, and we're just sitting here going, what? What about me? So my favorite thing about Funnel Hacking Live is networking with people in the hallways, and this is my virtual version of our funnel hacking hallway. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. This has been fantastic. I will see you guys again for our next pre-show at 7 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning. We'll be on up until 8:45, so we can get ready for our session. So you guys have 15 minutes until this stuff kicks off. It's time. Make sure you are hydrated. Make sure, Carrie, you have good shoes on. You're going to
Good
be
shoes,
walking
good shoes.
around. Make sure you have your business cards or your QR codes ready. Make sure, my friends who are watching virtually, get your caffeine ready, get your water bottles, get your healthy snacks. And if you're a super keener like me, get some free weights so that you can do some exercise while you're doing this. Because we got to stay hydrated, stay happy, stay healthy, my friends, because no funnel will be successful if you're not there to build it. Just saying.
Valid.
Just saying.
Kill it.
Facts.
So before we go, closing thoughts. Andy, go.
Closing thoughts. In order to level up in business, you have to invest in yourself. An event like this is exactly doing that, because otherwise you reach peaks and plateaus. So you got to always, no matter where you're at in your business, you're always going to be making investments in different assets to grow. And this is one of those events to do that.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Havis, hit him.
Yeah, so simple here. I love to stretch physically. It's one of my favorite things in the world because it's so good for your body. Today, allow yourself to be stretched beyond your normal capacity. That's it.
Don't pull a hammy.
Don't pull a hammy.
Go.
Trust your heart. I think that's going to be the most important thing, because I feel like in these type of events, it's so easy for us to get caught up in like the overwhelm and the things like that. But if you actually stop thinking, don't listen to your brain will always steer you in the wrong direction. It will always will. Sit down, listen to your heart, and say, like, is this something that I really want to do? Is this something that's really going to help me in my business? And if the answer is yes, go all in. But if it's not, if your heart says it's cool, but maybe not right now, listen to your heart. It will always lead you all the right way.
Molle.
Oh, man. Okay, so my thought, or my final closing thought, is this is going to feel really overwhelming. It's going to be like drinking from a fire hydrant. But remember that you might not know the answer that you're looking for, but you know the question. That's the important place to start. Because if you know the question and you listen to your heart, like Carrie was saying, and you show up to these events and you're well stretched, of course, you're limber, then you can go connect with the people who have those answers. You can't connect with them if you don't have the question. So write down your questions, write down where those spaces are when you're listening to these sessions and you go, I don't actually know the answer. I don't know how to run ads. I don't know how to drive traffic. I don't know how to write copy. Don't feel down on yourself if that's what you're thinking. Feel like you are empowered because you have the questions. Now go out there, find the answers. Find the people who have those resources. Find the people who are experts in those areas. Connect with them. Bring them together. Make an incredible collaborative team, and you will freaking take over the world.
There you go.
I love it.
Preach.
And if I had to say anything, I would say just keep in mind as you're going throughout the day of how you're feeling, your reactions to things, and try and document those moments where you lean in, where you get excited, where you're pumped up and you're like, oh my God, I'm all in. And you may not even know why you're all in, but keep track of those moments, because those are the processes that we follow to get someone to come into our message or impact our movement. So I always try to remind myself, like, oh my God, that was amazing, incredible. Why? Ask why. So
seriously, this is a true thing. And Jim and I, as I keep mentioning, we're like accountability buddies. And I sent Jim a series of Voxer messages yesterday talking at like 1,000 miles an hour about how excited I was, these ideas I was coming up with for our projects. And then I sent him another message going, can you save that message? I feel like we're going to need it in the near future. Just saying, this is a space where you can document that growth. Funnel Hacking Live is an incredible opportunity. Even if you're virtual, just kind of like turn your volume down, pull out your phone, document yourself talking about that stuff in the moment. This is a place where you are going to get more inspiration than anywhere else. Take charge of that, harness it, and then we can use that battery operated energy later on.
And
so
quick
guys,
shout out to the people. One real quick shout out to the live people. Akshay, thank you so much for watching. James Robertson. We got obviously
Hope
Davis in the house. We got Hope Isaac, Tony Caggiano, Anne Marie.
Tony.
Yeah.
Love Tony.
And
We love
Marie's
Tony.
in there. And let's see. James Johnson, thank you so much for joining us. And I think that is everybody. So thank you so much for joining us live. It means so much to us, truly. We know that you can spend your time anywhere, and spending it with us here really is amazing. Thank you so much.
And before we wrap up, we got reminders for you guys. If you want my notes, drop hashtag notes down in the comments of this live. Send me a private message, hashtag notes at the top, and I will be able to get you those notes that I wrote up, including our notes that I'm going to write up for today as well. Show up tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are going to start giving away some pretty incredible prizes. Why? Because I love you. Also, because we want you to succeed. We want you to take all of this information. We want you to be equipped with stuff, maybe stuff that we didn't get free when you showed up to Funnel Hacking Live in person, but that's okay. That's okay. We got you covered. So you're going to have to show up tomorrow. Make sure you bring in all of your new friends that you have met along the journey of Funnel Hacking Live. Make sure you are taking all of your notes, thinking about all of your big action steps. And we are going to hang out 7 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, where we're going to go over all of this stuff. We're going to share some prizes with you. We're going to talk about what happened today. We're going to bring on some awesome guests. We're going to bring you on as well. So if you want to join us live today, just like we had our Family Today show up, I want you guys up here. Even if you don't know anyone else who's attending FHL, I want to introduce you to some of my greatest friends, because that is how we supercharge our business impact. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you again tomorrow. Jim will see you again tomorrow. Enjoy your day today, my friends. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Be excellent to each other.
Happy FHLing.